Protect the flock, we rally in the lion's den. Shield to shield, the storm is thundering. Unleash the roar, let the lions run. Torch the night until the battle's won.
All right, welcome to the Lion's Den. It's Friday. Just got back in this morning. Well, no, I got back in this afternoon from branch 43. The CLC went up there and talked to that branch yesterday. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we got out at about 11:30 at night. And so we went and ate, and I got back to my room at 1:40 this morning. And so we had a fantastic time. Had a great group of people come. And so, it was a fantastic time with Branch 43. And I'll talk more about that Sunday. I also went by Seymour, Indiana, and met with a few of those carriers there. I think there were 7 of us. Went to eat. We talked about specific things that are going on in their branch and in their station. And the emphasis of the CLC will be on those small stations. We're going to educate everybody. We're going to have education on steroids. Matter of fact, like I told you, James Henry's going to bring back the director of education, and education is going to be on steroids. I truly believe an educated workforce, like I've always said, is a devastating thing. That way, anytime any manager, doesn't matter how toxic comes in there, your carriers understand how to protect themselves. 6-day count, like we've been going over so much on Lion's Den. Education. It makes the job a lot easier for the steward, for the Formula A, for the branch president, for the NBA. And so I'm all about education. And so we'll have education on steroids when the CLC takes over. 6-day counts, we're going to continue with that. I didn't know how long I was going to do this. The 6-day count, I took forever reading that book, and we talked a lot about route protection stuff. I'm going to keep doing that, talking about route protection. Today I'm going to go over the letter carrier perfect street phase. Steve Hedgcock put that out. I'm going to read that 30 minutes. 30 minutes. That's all I want these episodes to be, 30 minutes. And so, we're going to do 30 minutes of that. And then next week do the same thing, and then next do the same. Next week's episode is going to be on Tuesday, because we'll be going to the California State Convention on Wednesday. So I'll have an episode of From 8 Arbitration on Sunday. And then Tuesday, we're going to continue on with this route protection. A lot of people have been messaging me this week stating that their stations are fixing to go through 6-day counts. We've been saying that for a while. I look for management to steal as much as they can this fall. I look for some of the most atrocious 6-day counts we've ever seen come this fall. I truly believe that. I look for them to steal and cheat as much as they ever have this fall. Why? I do believe that there will be a joint process come out early next year. And what I think will happen, I don't know this, nobody's talked to me. What I think will happen is they'll say that any grievances filed with 6-day counts will fall under this new memo, whatever it is, and those stations will be first, and they'll go back and get the data, and they'll do the route inspections based off of this joint process, and we'll lose out on any grievance money, anything like that, because management has come in and destroyed our stations intentionally. I think that's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong. I could be. I've been wrong once. And so I think that's what's fixing to happen. But I look for them to come in and try to devastate some of these stations this fall, knowing that they would lose if the grievance procedure, did what it's supposed to do. But I believe that they've been told that they're going to do a joint process. But we'll just keep educating here, all right? We'll keep educating here. And that way, when time comes, when your station gets into 6-day count, we'll be ready, all right? We're going to be great, not good. That's what we're going to do here. I don't want y'all to be good. I don't want y'all to be average. I want you to be great in every single thing that you do, all right? Every single thing that you do. So Sunday I have from 8 Arbitration, we're going to have some salted peanuts. I got a lot of stuff I got to cover. I'm talking about a lot of stuff. Another recording. I'm on about 20 different sites. And so on a couple of these sites was just the recording about these return to work letters. And so I took that. I'll play it for you, kind of give you their game plan, and we're going to defeat that, all right? And so that's what I like doing. Anytime something comes up, I'm going to try to defeat it on here, just like I've been beaten to death this pet endorsed, and I'll keep doing that because that is public enemy number one, is this pet endorsed, them putting our demonstrated performance on our cases, denying 3996 is based off of those things. Had somebody I talked to today about that. So we'll just keep doing it, all right? So today, Letter Carrier Perfect by Mr. Steve Hedgcock. I've done this before, but this Lion's Den is new, right? There's hardly any episodes here. We're going to keep on with route protection, 6-day counts, protecting our route in the office, protecting it on the street. And so today's going to be the street. It's just a conglomeration of things. So listen to it as much as you want, or you can just get a pen and paper and start writing down M documents, contractual language where you can go to things. Okay, a lot of these things we've been covering, but I'm just going to keep doing it. Repetition. And that's how we're going to become great. Okay, repetition. We're going to start out M304. M304. Y'all may have heard of this before. M304, October 22nd, 1985. In keeping with the principle of a fair day's work for a fair day's pay, it is understood that there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. Now, we've got several of those, and we'll go over all of them. But the reason that's important, demonstrated performance. Okay? Had a carrier reach out to me today saying that management is bulldogging one of his carriers, telling them he's not going fast enough in between stops. And you're going to see a lot of that happen. It's going on a lot. You're not going fast enough in between stops. You need to go faster. M304. In keeping with the principle of a fair day's work for a fair day's pay, it is understood that there is no set pace at which a carrier must walk and no street standard for walking. Management cannot discipline you if you are working safely and accurately. M209, February 6, 1974. It is recognized that changes in work and time standards will be initiated only at the national level, and we read a lot about that in some of our previous Lion's Den episodes. Okay, and we're talking about PET and DOS. M379. This is May 18th, 1976. A supervisor is not prohibited from pointing out a carrier's shortcomings and giving appropriate corrective instructions. However, the union's request that the number of paces per minute be used as an observation and not as a specific criterion or standard performance by the grievant is sustained. I'll read that again. M379. We're talking about demonstrated performance here. M379. A supervisor is not prohibited from pointing out a carrier's shortcomings and giving appropriate corrective instructions. However, the union's request that the number of paces per minute be used as an observation and not as a specific criterion or standard performance by the grievant is sustained. Y'all got that? However, the union's request that the number of paces per minute be used as an observation and not as a specific criterion or standard performance by the grievant is sustained. So that goes back to demonstrated performance. M1298, January 13th, 1998. Seatbelts must be worn all times the vehicle is in motion, exception for long life vehicles, LLVs. In instances where the shoulder belt prevents the driver from reaching to provide delivery or collection from curbside mailboxes, only the shoulder belt may be unfastened. The lap belt must remain fastened at all times the vehicle is in motion. When traveling to and from the route, when moving between park and relay points, and when entering or crossing intersecting roadways, all vehicle doors must be closed. When operating a vehicle on delivery routes and traveling in intervals of 500 feet, 1/10 of a mile, or less at speeds not exceeding 15 miles per hour between delivery stops, the door on the driver's side may be left open. M41, Section 321.3. M41, Section 321.3. Peel off the letters and circulars for the first house from bundle carried in the hand and the flat mail from bundle standing on end in satchel. Peel off the letters and circulars for the first house from bundle carried in the hand and the flat mail from bundle standing on end in satchel. M41 321.5. Finger mail between delivery stops, placing it in order of delivery. See Section 133.2. When withdrawing flats from satchel, observe and remember address of next piece to avoid backtracking. M41 133.2. Do not finger mail when driving or when walking up or down steps or curbs when crossing streets or at any time it would create a safety hazard to the carriers or to the public. M39, June 11th, 1982. The current instructions contained in Part 321.3 of the M41 Handbook are controlling. It is not a requirement for a carrier on a foot route to carry 4 inches of flats on his arm while delivering mail. M504, May 21st, 1984. Letter carriers may be required to finger flat mail between stops as required by Part 321.5, M41 Handbook. Obviously, the physical fingering activity may not be the same as for letter mail, which is held in the hand. Flat mail is normally withdrawn from the satchel. The idea is to have all mail ready for deposit when the carrier reaches the delivery point and to avoid backtracking. Safety should be a prime consideration by all means. If you are doing park and loop, how can you have splits or loops longer than 20 minutes? I'm going to read this. Beat the heat, stay cool. It's that time of year again when the temperature begins to rise and the potential for heat-related illnesses becomes a factor during your daily work routines. It's important to remember the keys to staying cool and safe this summer season. Here are some quick tips for battling the heat. 1. Hydrate before, during, and after work. Prevention is important, so make sure to maintain good hydration by drinking at least 8 ounces of water every 20 minutes. And that's what that was talking about. That's what the question that Steve was asking. 2. Dress appropriately for the weather. On warm days, make sure to wear light-colored, loose-fitting, breathable clothing to keep body temperatures down. 3. Utilize shade to stay cool. When possible, use shaded areas to stay out of the direct sunlight. 4. Know the signs of heat stress. You should understand what heat stress is and how it can affect your health and safety. Here are some things to look out for. Hot, dry skin or profuse sweating, headache, confusion or dizziness, nausea, muscle cramps, weakness or fatigue, rash. Finally, it is important to notify your supervisor or call 911 if you're experiencing signs of heat-related illnesses. This will not only ensure your safety, but can also save your life. And on that first one, hydrate before, during, and after work. Prevention is important, so make sure to maintain good hydration by drinking at least 8 ounces of water every 20 minutes. And what Steve say? If you're doing park and loop, how can you have splits or loops longer than 20 minutes? Monthly safety emphasis. September, slips, trips, and falls. Always wear appropriate slip-resistant footwear. Never finger mail while walking. Pay attention to your surroundings, situation awareness. Shortcuts are dangerous. Monthly safety emphasis. December, winter weather. Dress appropriately for the weather. Stay warm. Wear proper footwear and utilize traction devices. Watch your step. Taking shortcuts can be deadly. Don't finger mail while walking over snow and ice. M341, March 22nd, 1974. Employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures listed below. 1. Level streets or roads. Place the vehicle in neutral. Place foot firmly on brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in mailbox. 2. On hills. Place the vehicle in park. Place foot firmly on brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in mailbox. Read this one again. This is M341. We've covered this a lot, and I'm going to keep doing it. M341. Employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures listed below. Now, this is postal policy. This is postal policy. Remember when I was reading all these things, that's the very first thing I was reading on the Lion's Den. This is postal policy. If you read the entire thing, postal policy. Employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures listed below. 1. Level streets or roads. Place the vehicle in neutral. Place foot firmly on brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in mailbox. 2. On hills. Place the vehicle in park. Place foot firmly on brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in mailbox. So it doesn't matter how long I've been doing it, if I hadn't done it at all. If you start doing it, management says, hey, if you've not been doing it, this is postal policy. This is postal policy. Matter of fact, if you're not doing it, management should tell you to do it. Why? Because we're supposed to follow postal policy. M994. M994, August 12, 1985. The issue raised in this grievance involved local management ordering carriers to ignore safety protocol, giving carriers instructions not to place vehicles in neutral while making curbside deliveries from right-hand drive vehicles. It is our position that advising carriers not to put the gear selector in neutral position at each delivery point on a mounted route was improper. U.S. Postal Service policy in this regard provides that employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures of 1. On level streets or roads, placing the vehicle in neutral. Place the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. 2. On hills, placing the vehicle in park. Placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. We find that the grievance in this regard does have merit. If your supervisor claims it is a time-wasting practice, grieve this safety violation. In the remedy, state that during the earliest safety talk, management shall instruct all the carriers on how to properly deliver to a mounted box. Now, these are safety issues, right? The reason we're doing this is for safety. So, what happens if management gives you a direct order to stop? Do you stop? Do you risk discipline? Do you risk an II? Now, when they come in, they say, hey, we give you a direct order not to do that, and you continue to do that. Why? Well, because it's postal policy that I do it, and it's unsafe, and what your instruction was unsafe. And we're going to use that M994. I'm going to read this whole thing again. I may read this next week and the next. Why? Repetition. I want y'all to be outstanding. I want y'all to be great in everything that you do. I want you to be able to quote things to management when they say things like that it was improper. I want you to quote 994. M994 says that it's postal policy that I do this. M994 is postal policy. I'm required to do this. M994 is what I'm going to use to show that it was improper, the instruction that you just gave me. What are we going to show? M994. All right? You got to say it 1,000 times, say it 1,000 times. M994. It's postal policy. So what you just told me to do is improper. And they stated it was improper. It's postal policy. So are you telling me right now, are you giving me a direct order to go against postal policy? Yes or no? And if they say yes, I would not obey that instruction. I would not obey that instruction. Safety first. Safety first. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is second. Safety first, all right? M994. The issue raised in this grievance involved local management ordering carriers to ignore safety protocol, giving carriers instructions not to place vehicles in neutral while making curbside deliveries from right-hand drive vehicles. So you have management out there telling carriers, don't do that, even though this is postal policy. Postal policy only applies to us when they're trying to give us discipline, right? We're the only ones that can disobey postal policy and get disciplined for it. Here they are actively telling them not to. It is our position that advising carriers not to put the gear selector in the neutral position at each delivery point on a mounted route was improper. U.S. Postal Service policy in this regard provides that employees performing curbside delivery from right-hand drive vehicles shall follow the procedures of one. Now this says shall follow. It doesn't say may follow. It says shall follow the procedures. 1. On level streets or road, placing the vehicle in neutral, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. 2. On hills, placing the vehicle in park, placing the foot firmly on the brake pedal while collecting mail or placing mail in the mailbox. We find that the grievance in this regard does have merit. M994. All right. If your supervisor claims it is a time-wasting practice, grieve this safety violation. In the remedy, state that during the earliest safety talk, management shall instruct all carriers on how to properly deliver to a mounted box. What do you do when there's a blocked mailbox? Postal regulations require that carriers dismount to deliver to a box that is temporarily blocked. Postal Operations Manual, the POOM, 632.14 states. 632.14 of the POOM, Postal Operations Manual. The customer is responsible for keeping the approach to his or her mailbox clear to facilitate delivery. Where the approach to the mail receptacle located at the curb is temporarily blocked by a parked vehicle during normal delivery hours for the area, or snow or ice hampers the approach to the mailbox, the carrier normally dismounts to make delivery. If the carrier continually experiences a problem in serving curbline boxes, and where the customer is able to control on-street parking in front of his or her mailbox but does not take prompt corrective action after being properly notified, the postmaster may, with the approval of the district manager, withdraw delivery service. Delivery can only be withheld if the problem is continual. Okay? So if you're driving on your 6-day count and you got a car parked in front of the mailbox, management will do what? They will tell you, hey, keep going. That box is blocked. Keep delivering. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to notate that. We're going to use the POOM, Postal Operations Manual 632.14, and I'm going to say, hey, that box is not always blocked like that. So I should have been given the time to stop, put my vehicle in park, secure my vehicle, and deliver that box. We need that time. Remember, we're always talking about what? Minutes. Saving minutes. Management's going to steal everything that they can steal from us this fall. Trust me. I promise you. They're going to steal all they can steal. That's all they know how to do. That's all they know how to do is steal. And so what we have to do, get those minutes back. And we're talking about it right here. Steve did a great job of these things. M41 321.4. If a parcel does not fit completely within the mail receptacle or parcel locker when available, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. Knock like a cop. This is one of the things that one of the biggest emphasis I've put on when I do training as far as 6-day count saving minutes is parcel delivery. Why? Because this is something that they're not going to be able to hold back. They can hold your mail back. They always do. Parcels. That's our moneymaker. We get a lot of parcels. If you just deliver parcels simply how you're supposed to deliver them, you're going to make a killing on 6-day count. I mean a killing. If you just deliver your parcels right. If they gave us no mail and you had only parcels, if you delivered your parcels exactly how you're supposed to every single day, you're going to make a killing. All right? So if management says, hey, why are you sitting there knocking and waiting? Just knock and drop it there. Just the knock and drop. Like we read that numerous times here in Nashville, the knock and drop. JB's been extremely successful with those things. Knock and drop. Just knock and drop. Come on, let's go. No. This is what we're going to do. M41 321.4. If a parcel does not fit completely within the mail receptacle or parcel locker when available, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door. Do not ring and run. Take the time to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Corey Walton, your letter carrier. Now they know me. Be happy and hand it to your customer. We are not UPS, Amazon, or FedEx. You never know when you may need the customer to help you out. Tornado warnings, hail, or refill your water jug, etc. Kindness goes a long way. What do you do with an oversized parcel now? What do you do with certified mail? What do you do with a signature confirmation? Delivery is simple. Follow management's instructions. One motion to the box. Marries the cased mail with the DPS at the mailbox. If there's a parcel too big for the parcel locker, remove the mail from the cluster box and take the mail and the parcel and attempt delivery at your customer's door. Introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Corey Walton, your letter carrier. Be happy. Either hand the customer their mail and parcel or follow the mailer's instructions on the label. Deliver or leave notice. After leaving notice, take the attempted mail back to the mailbox and the parcel is returned to the post office. That's M41, 322.311 or 322.312. The same goes for any signature requested items. Lather, rinse, repeat. M41, 323.3, parcels. Many parcels may be carried with the relays. If no one is available to receive a parcel that is too large for the mail receptacle or parcel locker, when available, follow the procedures in 322.311 and 322.312. For heavy parcels, the following systems may be used. Begin the loop at the point of the parcel delivery. Bypass the stop until the loop is complete, then drive to the delivery point with both the mail and the parcel. If a parcel is heavy, will not fit into your satchel, or requires a signed receipt, determine if someone is available at the address by ringing the doorbell or knocking on the door at the time of delivery of the rest of the mail. If no answer, follow procedures in 322.311 and 322.312. If someone is available to receive the parcel, return with it after completing the loop. This is the most fun if you're being 99'd. You now rearrange the cased mail and the DPS to match your parcel delivery point and start delivery from this point. This is the most fun you can have with your supervisor, trust me. M335. M335. On park and loop letter routes, the carrier's satchel will be used to carry sufficient amounts of mail for a loop or swing, to protect the mail, and for collection mail. The only exception whereby a motorized carrier may make deliveries without a satchel is a dismount to make a limited 1 or 2 number of business deliveries from a single stop. Check your standard operating procedure, SOP, for any difference. Handbook EL 814.3, backing up. Avoid backing up whenever possible. If you can park where you will not have to back up to pull away from a parking place, if you must back up, first walk around your vehicle to make sure there are no pedestrians, children, obstructions, etc. in your way. I'll read that again. Avoid backing up whenever possible. It does not say you cannot back up at all. I've dealt with a removal once on an elderly lady. She was elderly, and they fired her. She kept working. It was in front of Arbitrator Miles. And she came in her uniform. I told her. She came to, when I was going over the case with her the night before, she showed up at the union hall in her uniform. And I said, "Why are you still in your uniform?" She said, "Well, I just got finished delivering." I said, "Hang on just a second." "What do you mean you just got finished delivering?" "Oh, I'm still delivering." I said, "So they never removed you?" No, she had no idea she had a removal. That's the honest to God's truth. She had no idea. I showed her the removal, never seen it. So when I told her to come meet me, when the president was talking to her and told her to come meet me, I said, "So they never told you it was on removal?" "No." So I told her, I said, "Well, show up tomorrow in your uniform." And arbitrator Miles, he brought her back, but they got her because of backing. And they said, absolutely no backing. I remember that. And it was in all caps. And arbitrator Miles stopped me. And so he said, so that's a policy, absolutely no backing. This was the arbitrator talking to, this was the postmaster of Memphis at the time. He said, so the policy here is absolutely no backing. And the postmaster said, yeah. He said, well, why is there an R on the gear shift? And so the postmaster just looked at him. He's like, why is there an R on there? If there's absolutely no backing, why would you have an R on the gear shift? Now that's the arbitrator talking to the postmaster. And so he brought her back, but it says avoid, I just told a whole long story right there, but avoid backing up whenever possible. If you can, park where you will not have to back up to pull away from a parking place. If you must back up, first walk around your vehicle to make sure there are no pedestrians, children, obstructions, etc. in your way. Handbook EL 814.7, parking lots. Park in designated parking spaces only. Do not park in or block fire lanes. And that's where we're going to stop. That's 30 minutes. And that's all I want these to do. It's 31 minutes. But 30 minutes, that's all I want. That's all I want my lines to end to be, because I'm going to lose your interest. And so there you have it. Letter carrier perfect. Street edition. We're going to continue on with this next Tuesday. All right. I may do it again and again and again. I like how he did these things, just different tidbits of things put in there that if you keep going over them, it's minutes. Saving minutes. That's what 6-day counts, any kind of route inspection is all about. 6-day counts, joint processes, anything like that, saving minutes. Right? I love you. I love you, Light Blue. I love getting out there and talking to you and seeing you. I've had a blast going across the country talking to my people, man, seeing my people. I love it. I love it. And we're just getting started. James and I are having the time of our lives going around seeing everybody. We were with David Groskoff and Pam Donato this last week. Have a great time around my CLC people. But, yeah, I love you. I love you. We're having fun. And so I'll talk to y'all Sunday from 8 Arbitration. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be another salted peanuts. May not be as hostile. I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Maybe. But and then next Tuesday, Lions Den again. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a safe rest of the week. I love you. Bye.